Alright guys, welcome to another part of this iconic Rockabilly finger picking series I've been doing. This one has two separate finger picking patterns. It is sort of Rockabilly, but it's sort of taking some other chords as well, maybe sort of breaking into a bit of Chet Atkins sort of stuff as well, with a little bit of theory behind it. So once again on Patreon, the tab and the guitar profile is there. I'm going to run through it all in the video as well. So let's just get stuck in and quickly, please like and subscribe and go and check out Patreon. There's loads of lessons on there, okay? So we're in the key of D. I'm going to show you the two finger picking patterns first, okay? So if we do the D here, we're going to do this D up here, you know, fret 5 on string 5, fret 7 on strings 2, 3, 4. Those are the four strings we need, okay? Going back to one of the previous lessons, we were talking about picking with your fingers in your pick or just using your fingers, tucking the pick away, set to style, or doing the thing that I do as well where I put it between the two fingers like that, then I can still use these fingers. That's what I'm going to do on this one today. So I've been playing, I tuck it in between my fingers, okay, and I can start finger picking. So we're going to hold the chord down, we're going to use a thumb, it's going to play string 5 first, okay, then it's going to move across to string 4. I'm going to use my middle finger, pick the two together. Okay, and then I'm going to go thumb on string 5 again. Then first finger is do string 3. Thumb does string 4. So we've now got. Okay. Okay, that's the first picking pattern. The second one, I've done this on purpose, so we're not having to overthink the picking. It always alternates from that pattern to this next one. So I got. Okay. So this little sequence, we're going to get into the chord in a second. The second pattern is going to be string 5 with your thumb again, then string 3 with your first finger, then string 4 with your thumb, then string 2, middle finger, yeah, and then after that, first finger goes back to string 3, thumb does string 4. So it doesn't matter what strings you're doing this on, that's just the sequence of the fingers I'm using to make the rhythm. Yeah, just those two shapes. Yeah, okay, so that's what we're using. So on the D then, that's what we're going to start with, this pattern. Okay, then I'm going to move to this D augmented chord, which is a bit cheeky. So we've got fret 5 on string 5, fret 4 on string 4, fret 3 on strings 2 and 3, okay? And that's where we use the second picking pattern. So we do string 5 with our thumb, first finger does string 3, thumb does string 4, then second finger does string 2, first finger string 3, thumb string 4. So we've got the first bit. So what you could do if you're just getting into this, you know, you could just like loop that around to start off with on its own. So if you've got that, we'll keep going. Like we said, back to the first picking pattern. So now I'm going to do a D6. So I'm holding down fret 5 on string 5, fret 4 on strings 3 and 4, fret 3 on string 2. Doing the same picking pattern. So I'm not going to keep saying the same picking pattern because we've been through that. So if you just keep working with that now. Okay, so we got. Picking pattern 1, okay. Then we're going to go to a D7. We're not going to do it like this. We're going to do it like this instead. So we've now got fret 5 on string 5, fret 4 on string 4, fret 5 on string 3, and fret 3 on string 2. Okay, and that's picking pattern 2, okay. Once again, you don't have to do that. You can do whatever picking pattern you want, you know, do the first one. It's up to you. This is just, you know, just sort of a little guide for educational purposes. Okay, then, okay, so we've got D, this D augmented, D6, and then D7. So, you know, that's like 4 chord voicings on just a D alone. So that's quite interesting in itself as well. Okay, so 4 chord voicings on just 1 chord on the 1 chord. Then it's going to do to the G. So okay, and it's a G7. And we're doing the same picking idea, but I'm going to obviously move to string 6 now. I'm going to play string 6 with the thumb, then jump it over to the D string, string 4 and string 2 together. You know, still the same picking pattern though, with the fingers. Yeah, and then I'm going to do the thumb again on string 6. And then first finger does string 3, and then thumb does strings 4. Okay, so that's picking pattern 1 again. And then I go to this G sharp diminished. What's the difference between a G7 and a G sharp diminished? It's 1 note, just changing the root, G to G sharp. All the other notes are still the same in the chord. Okay. So that's picking pattern 2 there. So thumb on string 6, then I do string 3 with my first finger, thumb does string 4. Then second finger does string 2, first finger string 3, thumb string 4, okay? So we got, okay. Okay, then we go back to the D again, the 1 chord. But then it gets interesting because I drop down to this B7. Well, a B7 isn't part of the D major scale, so we're using this thing which I've spoken about before in a couple of lessons on here and probably on Patreon a bit more maybe, about secondary dominance. So this here is like where you go to this B7, it's a secondary dominant. We're taking information from actually like E major, because what is the 5th of E major is a B7, yeah, okay? And it's a dominant 7th there. And it's really useful when you do something like that. You can go from the B7, the secondary dominant, back up to where we're taking the information from, the E. So we'd have this, okay, and then up to the E. So we got yeah, so that's like saying that's the 1 chord and that's the 5 chord of E. Okay, secondary dominant idea. The picking then on the E7, well actually the picking on the B7 was the same, wasn't it, as before? Okay, so then we're on to the E. And that's doing picking pattern 1 and picking pattern 2. Yeah, exactly the same. Okay, and then we move to the A. Okay, and that does picking pattern 1. Okay, so thumb on string 6, jump to strings 2 and 4, string 6, string 3, string 4. And then at the end I just do sort of like pick the strings, pop them on strings 2, 3, maybe string 6. And then walk back up to the D, 5, 7, 4 on string 5, and then we can just loop it round again, back to D. Okay, so yeah, so at the end, A major, A7, it all worked, it's all good. So that is the picking sequence. It's like a fun little thing to do, interesting ideas in there, you know, putting that secondary dominant idea in there and stuff, breaking it up a bit. So yeah, more to come. Check out the tabs on Patreon. You can download all those and speed it up with the guitar profile, slow it down and all that stuff. Thank you for checking it out. I'll see you soon. There'll be another one very soon. Cheers.